Hey YouTube, how's it going? So today I want to talk a little bit about acne and my experience with acne. See, I started getting acne when I was like 13 or 14 years old. That stage where puberty starts to hit. And it was common. You know, all my friends had it. I had it. Um, you know, it was a normal thing at that age. Um, but everyone else's acne seemed to go away, and there were some kids in school that were basically covered head to toe with pimples. I mean, they were horrible, horrible acne. But I had flare-ups here and there, and I thought it was all related to shaving. So I basically, I, went to college and whatnot, and during college, I had acne, and even the past couple years, I've had acne pretty bad. Flare-ups that just happened. So I finally got sick and tired of it, and I went to a dermatologist. And the dermatologist basically looked at my skin and he said, "You have acne, and here's some Retin-A." He prescribed me Retin-A. I was so happy, because I had read about Retin-A online, and I thought, oh my god, this is going to cure acne across the board. I'm not going to have it anymore. Well, unfortunately for me, the Retin-A appeared to cause major flare-ups. Um, Big, huge pimples on my arms, um, just all over my body. Anywhere I put the Retin-A, it seemed like, it was real sensitive. And what would happen is the skin would swell up, and then it would, there would be a pimple there, but it would never really, like, it would take a long time to heal. It was almost, it was an infection, is what it was. And I mean, I was just embarrassed. I had them all over my arms, and I mean, I was, acne kind of destroys confidence in many ways for obvious reasons. So I got sick and tired of it. So I made another appointment, and I said, "What the hell? You gave me Retin-A, and it's causing flare-ups and everything else." So he gave me a topical antibiotic to put on too. So I put the topical antibiotic on, and then I put, in the morning, I put the topical antibiotic on. At night, I put the Retin-A on, and I was using benzoyl peroxide as well in the mix. So I'm using 3 major chemicals on my skin. And finally, it seemed like it was working for a while, and then the flare-ups came back, and I was bleaching all of my shirts with the benzoyl peroxide products in the shower, and because that stuff, it stays on your skin even if you wash it off. It still, soaks into your pores and whatnot, creates benzoic acid, I believe that's what it is. And so yeah, long story short, it's an oxidizer, and it will take the colors right out of any shirt you have, except for black. Blue, it really ruins blue colored shirts, okay, or towels, or green, because green is a derivative of blue. But anyways, back to the whole thing. So it was still happening, so I looked up information on Retin-A. and I had I'd never had pimples on my arm before. You know, once in a while, maybe one or two. But when I was using the Retin-A, I noticed like a bunch of little teeny tiny pimples forming on my arms. And, you know, there was like something on my hand, like a big piece of skin. You know, it just seemed like it was, you know, the dead skin cells were shedding, but they were sitting underneath my skin. They weren't, you know what I mean? They weren't falling off, they were clogging up my pores. And I looked up online, and here Retin-A turned out to be a comedogenic, meaning it forms comedones on your skin, and comedones are commonly known as whiteheads or cystic acne. What happens is the pore gets clogged up with something like a comedone or a piece of dirt or whatever, and the pore is not clean, so it traps moisture, bacteria starts to grow, you know, things like that. The pore can't breathe. So I said the Retin-A is not working, it's comedogenic, and I requested something else. So he gave me something else. Adapalene. I believe that's what it's called. It's adapalene gel. It's the same as Retin-A, but it's a derivative of Retin-A. I mean, it's like Retin-A is derived from vitamin A, and then they take the derivative and derive it again. You know what I mean? So, like, this is like twice, you know, two times in the making. I mean, how much processing does this really take? Well, this stuff was like much more expensive, okay? Almost double the price of Retin-A. I put it on, and it was so irritating to my skin. I mean, it caused my, you know, where my lips go together, it caused that to, like, you know, dry out real bad and crack. And I mean, this was in the middle of summer, so it's like, I've never had that happen before in my life, you know, and it was embarrassing. It was embarrassing too. So, I was like, you know what? And I had been using this stuff as directed. You know, I wasn't putting a bunch on, I was putting a little bit on and stuff, you know, and, you know, made sure that the tube stayed dry, made sure my skin was dry before I put any of this stuff on, and I mean, it just, none of it was working. And so I just gave up. I gave up completely. I had another appointment with the dermatologist, and I was like, no, I'm not doing it, you know? And I was at the Amish store not too long ago. There was like a little bent and dead store around where I live, and I stopped there, and I went in there, and I'm like looking around and stuff, and I see this, I see this sulfur soap in there, and I'm like, sulfur soap? I've heard sulfur kills bacteria and whatnot, so, you know, I was like ready to try this out and stuff, so that's exactly what I did. I tried it out, and I'm so glad. I am so glad that I did that, because it has really um, helped with my acne. And I mean, now the stuff smells horrible. It smells terrible to use. I wouldn't recommend using it before you go out onto a date or something. But I mean, if you're looking for something that will, you know, kind of natural. It's relatively cheap. It's like $3 or $4, $3 a bar or something. Um, but yeah, I would recommend that because, again, no horrible breakouts with it. It does dry up your skin a little bit. No bleaching. It smells kind of bad, but that's besides the point. Um, I mean, that's exactly what you need to do. You need to find something all natural. You know, if clay helps you, use clay. Put clay on your body. It cleanses your pores. It makes your skin nicer. If you have a pimple and you put clay on it, let it dry out, it pulls those toxins out of your skin. So, you need to find something natural that will work for you. If the medicines and stuff aren't. Now, if they would work for me, I would be posting a video right now and I'd be saying, you know what? Go to a dermatologist and get the Retin-A, get the stuff, and what it comes down to is everyone's personal choice. If somebody needs Retin-A, then by all means. I mean, if that's helping your skin, if it's helping you, then personally, to you, I would say keep using the product, if you want to. If you want to follow your doctor's prescriptions, or his directions. But I am someone that's like, you know what? If this stuff is making my problem worse, I'm not going to use it anymore. And everyone's skin is different. And I think I have a mixture of oily and dry skin, and it's just, it's a pain. So, yeah, that's my little spiel on that. And like I said, I would recommend, trying things out that work for you. And, well, you don't really know if they're going to work for you or not until you try them. So, trying things out is a good thing sometimes. I'm not sure. The sulfur soap that I'm using is by Grisi, Grisi. It has lanolin in it, which is a natural animal fat, as well as sulfur, and it really helps my skin. I mean, I'd have pimples all over my chin and face right now if I wasn't using that. So, yeah, I mean, and it's relatively natural. It's using one of the chemical elements on the chemical. It's a natural element. It's not like it's derived from a vitamin or something. So. And it's not a comedogenic at all. All it does is it kills bacteria. So, yeah, that's just my little spiel on that, and, how things went with, going to the dermatologist, and how it didn't work for me. So, I stopped going because, number one, it's taking money. Number two, it's taking my time. I had to miss work to go to these dermatologist visits, and so yeah. So if you have any questions, comments, or want to discuss, things that work for acne, feel free to comment down below. And thanks for watching.